Blessings and welcome to the Priestess Prophecies. We are going to get some messages today from our love and spirit team, our angels, ancestors, way showers, and guides. Take a few slow, deep breaths with me as we bring in those energies now. Thank you so much for that moment of silence for the ones that are helping us in these messages to receive what we need. And today we'll be receiving those messages from the Priestess of the Light Tarot. We'll see what energy comes out for that particular deck. After that, we'll go to the Moonology cards and see what may be hidden or what we need to understand further, you know, at the subconscious level, if you will, since this will be giving us the conscious aspects of things. And then the Crystal Visions Tarot to top it all off. Now, don't go away, because at the end of the reading, we will do a Romance Angels card to see what is going on with love today. All right, these readings are timeless and timing is fluid. So anytime the message resonates, listen to it and see what it has to offer for you. So for the collective today from the Priestess of the Light, what do we need to know? All right, so coming out today is Power Over Difficulty. Yep, I feel like a lot of us have been going through it lately, don't you? Look at this card here. There's definitely, you know, a lot going on in the background. A lot of different circumstances is what I'm seeing. And I feel like the light is being shown over these circumstances, and you're being able to understand them from a much different perspective, a much higher perspective. Reclaiming your power is what this is talking about today. So if something has just ended in your life, 32 is a 5 when you add it in numerology. 5's all about changes, all about, you know, moving from probably a lower state or energy way of doing things. And that's where all these situations seem to be, right? Residing in that lower energy, and you're here. That's not what you're going to be able to connect to, right? You're the one that's shining the light. You may be one of these way showers in the living flesh, you know what I mean? Angels are one of those kinds of things. But in any case, what I mean to say is that you know more than most people. And so when you're connecting with these people of a lower nature, it's going to be harder for you to be able to hold your power and to stand in your power, and for people to really see you, you know, as you really are. And I feel like you are someone who gives people a lot of wisdom. You know, they're very surprised when they really sit down and talk with you and have these deep conversations. And I feel like you spent too much time perhaps trying to help people to see a different way of things, or, you know, in their own situations, helping them overcome their difficulties. But maybe you've always been alone when it comes to, you know, your own situations, and nobody's really been there for you. I feel like now is the time for us to truly understand just like how powerful we really are. And sometimes I think we tend to forget that, especially depending on who we're, you know, around or connecting to. So this card today says, it brings you a warning that there are situations, people, or patterns in your life threatening to take over. The snake can be venomous, tempting, and even strangling. This card is an important reminder to be honest with yourself and investigate your relationships and your daily activities, right? To determine what may be harmful or dishonoring to you, or even be consuming you. Wow, this could be, you know, any kind of toxic behaviors, drugs, alcohol, too much of it, you know, smoking cigarettes, even just eating bad, not drinking enough water, just not taking care of yourself, you know what I mean? But also being aware of those people, those places that you're going to, where those people may be, and that kind of thing. If someone is bringing a toxic energy to your life, it may be necessary to let that person go, or at least reduce your exposure dramatically. If a situation seems to be suffocating you or sapping your sense of freedom or enthusiasm, it is time to rethink your motivation for remaining engaged. Because as long as we keep our energy, once again, like I was talking about, engaged in those lower energies, right? People, places, or things. You have to determine what that is and what needs to be cut out today or changed. And if you're feeling a building resentment for a job or personal task, this card is telling you to learn how to bring more conscious joy to the experience, or even to exit it altogether, all right? If you can't find a way to find that silver lining in your situation, in your life, then you got to find a way to change that situation and move in a different direction, or, you know, a different place or whatever. Get away from it. Also, be mindful of all your own personal patterns. Consider the causes of your making and the results they are creating. You don't want to become the snake that eats its own tail, consuming your own life force and sabotaging your own desire to move forward. That's going in that vicious circle, right? We want to jump off of that pattern. We don't want to continue to go in circles. Yet always remember the abominable strength of your inner spirit and true life force, represented here by the swans, who, in spite of their gentle beauty, my ear is ringing on the left side, are very powerful creatures. And that was at what, 6:14 maybe? All right, capable of striking anything that attacks. You have the power as well. And this card is telling you to strike out at your own self-sabotaging patterns and to break free from any other limiting influences holding you down. Become conscious and courageous in your ongoing choices. You have the power now. This is reclaiming your power. So you know in your life what this may be. We're going to look a little bit more into it and see, but it's definitely people, places, things, patterns, toxic behavior. Here's an affirmation you can say. The Trinity of Three, right? By the power of three, the perfect Trinity. It is done. So say this 3 times. I release toxic people and patterns from my life. I empower myself in my choices and in my relationships. This is the change that is needed in our lives today, to get away from those toxic people, toxic patterns, anything that is keeping us, sabotaging us, or self-sabotage that's keeping us from moving forward into that life that we truly want to live, into our happiness, guys. We can be holding ourselves back just because we're like, you know, yeah, I can stop doing that tomorrow, or yeah, I know I deserve somebody better, but right now it's not bad, you know, and that kind of thing. It takes a lot of strength, and it does take a lot of courage, you know, to be able to gracefully, you know, be aware and be honest with yourself, as well as make those choices that you need to make to really move away. What's in the Moonology energy showing us today? Ooh, 2 came out already. Look at the bigger picture. What is really going on here? You see this arrow here? You need to be clear and focused. You need to really look at this situation. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. This is causing a lot of fiery energy, whatever this is, and it's not something that can be ignored any longer, is what this is saying. So look at the bigger picture. What is this card? Surrender to the divine. Whatever it is, it's not something that you can handle on your own, is what Spirit is telling you. And this is a full moon. This may have been something that just passed, that you were just dealing with, and you're still in the energy of. Let's get one more card out today to see what the Moonology wants to say to us. Well, 2 more came out. It says a win-win outcome is forecast, but it did come out in the reverse. So this is not balanced. This is not a balanced situation. Spirit is saying that you need to look at the bigger picture, what you're really, you know, trying to work on and heal. The candle went out. So, I mean, that should be even more confirmation. Nothing will come of this situation. Yeah. Void of course moon. This is totally just like the candle. It just went out. No win-win outcome. This is something that you absolutely need to understand is you've won. You've had a, you know, victory, if you will. But do you see it that way? That's what I'm feeling today, is maybe you're not seeing it that way. You're not looking at the bigger picture. Surrender to the divine. What I can tell you best about these situations, when I've had my most difficult situations and I'm sitting there, you know, in my emotions and crying and, you know, looking at all those past situations that brought me so much hurt. This 5 almost reminds me of 5 of Cups energy, right? But you see that everything isn't balanced, and you really know deep within you that nothing is going to happen in a positive way, as far as you're not going to be able to, this isn't your forever person kind of thing, right? Divine is staying in the middle here, because this wasn't supposed to be 2 cards, but it's clearly telling us with both of them coming out, a win-win forecast. Outcome is forecast, and that's full moon in Libra. That came out in reverse. These are all full moons. This is all enlightenment. You know, the first one in fire, the second one is just a full moon. The next one in the mind space, it's like you already know, you know? It's like Spirit is asking you to really just be honest about things and allow Divine to help you to heal this situation, and, you know, just kind of see what's next, if you will. Power over difficulty, though. If you can reclaim your power, you can have so much more come into your life. This arrow is pointing upwards. It's saying, this is the bigger picture. I am the bigger picture. Don't worry about all of these other things in your life that you feel like are so important. You know what I mean? This imbalance has come to show you that basically you took your focus off of the bigger picture, which is spirit. And I think this happens so much within relationships, you know, that we can get so caught up in another person that we forget about that bigger picture. We take our eyes off of the divine. And this is saying surrender to the divine. Bless the situation. That's what I was going to say. Bless the person, bless the situation. And just allow Divine to heal that situation in that void energy, right? And then start to move forward and call in that better situation is really what I'm feeling here today. That's where you're really going to have that power, is taking your own power back, right? All right, so let's see what's going on for the tarot today. At the bottom of the deck, 7 of Wands, definitely standing your ground, knowing exactly what it is that you want, you know, and making those choices, you know, standing up against those people, places, or things that you know don't allow you to stay at that higher ground. But look at this guy. He's at the higher ground. He's winning the battle, and that's where we want to remain. So what's in the middle of all of this? Knight of Swords in reverse. Something we've definitely not been honest with ourselves about. This is an energy of, you know, again, I really feel like seeing what we've needed to see, but not being, you know, ready to accept the truth perhaps, and being able to move, you know, forward in this situation. And well, let's see what comes out next. Yeah, heal. This is what's crossing you. If you can be honest about this situation and where you are with it and what's happened to this point, you can allow yourself to heal. But otherwise, if you stay in this energy, this is not going to be allowed to happen, because only after you go through those situations and you understand, right? This is in your foundation, the Hanged Man. The lesson has been learned if you see it that way. But you can stay blinded as well if you choose to, and continue to go around in circles and eat your tail, so to speak. In the past, Knight of Pentacles, maybe a lot of planning, but nothing coming to fruition, you know? And sometimes these things do take time also to manifest, because the Knight of Pentacles, as we know, is the slowest moving knight in the deck, right? But that knight looks at all the details and makes sure that all of those details are in place, because we know when we've looked at everything closely, you know, like when we go to buy a house, when we go to make a car purchase, and we're looking at all the different stats on it, as far as like if it's a good purchase and what other people are saying, because this is not the energy we want to end up in. And maybe that's what we're thinking about. You know, we really don't want to make a bad decision here moving forward. If perhaps there is something in our lives that we're looking at that we need to cut out. But if this is where this continues to leave us, again, that's that snake eating its tail, going around in that insanity cycle, right? And you don't want to end up continuing to find yourself having to learn these lessons over and over again, and that being the cycle that we're going through, and having to make another plan, you know, moving forward. And he doesn't look so excited because it's like, damn, I'm tired of having to keep going in another direction and whatnot because, yeah, getting stabbed in the back really doesn't feel very good, does it? And so the way that I see that you see this situation, honestly, you know what you want, you know your worth, and you're really wanting to do that healing. I feel like you definitely are ready to accept the responsibility that you need to here, and you know your worth. Again, Pentacles can talk about worth as well as money, and maybe even you are sitting, in a good position as far as from a financial perspective, and you understand that you don't need to put up with all of this, right? And so, yeah, outside energies, if this is how, your choices have been looking, that you've been going in this cycle, again, what is that? Well, it's the dragon, it's not the snake, but this is essentially kind of the same thing with the wheel in reverse, right? The lotus, everything is just, it's off balance, off kilter. This is that cycle that we want to get off of with everybody outside of us, right? No more connecting with people and situations that, first of all, if we see that they're already in that energy, don't connect with somebody in that way. Don't give any energy. That's the hopes, wishes, and fears that we're not going to have to deal with these energies anymore. That put us in this energy where it like really literally like drains our will to live and to move forward and even be motivated to do other things in our life. It really takes some time once you've gone through these situations, these situationships, relationships, whatever you want to call them, and then you have to bounce back from them. You're in a great position right now moving forward is what Spirit is saying with this Ace of Wands energy. And it's saying that if you can hold your position, because look at this dragon, but it kind of looks like a snake with the way that his tail is curling around there, right? But this is what you need to do. Again, fiery energy, right? Sagittarius, Ace of Wands. Keep your eye focused, looking at the bigger picture. Aces are all about spirit. It's all about God. It's all about that source of being. They're supporting you, giving you that energy moving forward because you're over this kind of energy, right? You want to allow spirit to fill your cup. You don't always want to have to be in this defensive position, but you will fight and make sure that you stay on the higher ground. You will ensure that you cut out anything that you need to that threatens your transformation and threatens your connection with spirit. And maybe that's what this is all about. Once again, is you lost your power. You step back into that sovereignty, that power that you know that you have when you are connected to the divine, when you are holding that space each day and taking some time to light a candle or connect, say some words, whatever the case may be, whatever your habits normally are. All right. So don't lose your power. In this void, you have a lot of opportunity to build that power again by keeping your focus on that bigger picture, surrendering to the divine. We're not going to eat our tail anymore. We're not going to go into these situations that don't bring anything. They're void of any kind of opportunity and possibility. So let's see what's coming out for the romance angel cards today. All right, separation. So if this is applying to you today, definitely separation is where we need to be. We need to get clear on our own energy. We need to reclaim our power, right? We need to know who we are. And when we get into these relationships, they shouldn't leave us feeling this way. This Four of Swords energy where we're having to now rest and we're now having to heal and that kind of thing. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon, and the horizon, when I think of the horizon, I think about everything being balanced out, right? Because you need to reclaim your power. You need to get back into that power of who you are. That is what you have lost today, and this will give you that power over difficulty. Beautiful reading, and thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. I will see you again for another reading. Bye-bye for now.